it was not part of a research project or founded by an association. It was founded by winemakers, which is very much which is very important because the winemakers see FAIRN Green as their own system, and this makes it already very successful. And right from the beginning, there were organic winemakers and normal winemakers. The winemakers who developed the system. And from the beginning on, the winemakers wanted to have a system which has a holistic approach, but what also allows different good solutions, different good ways to go to a sustainable future. And another very important part of the system is that FAIRN Green focus a lot on consulting and continuous improvement. It is not only a system which is doing a check where you stand regarding sustainability, it really helps you to improve over the time. And because of this, the system is solution-oriented and it is linked with a lot of innovation and a lot of research to this regard. So we see that FAIRN Green brings growers and scientists together to develop a sustainable future for the wine business. And by this, we have developed a lot of new tools, and I will share some of these new tools together with you regarding greenhouse gas emissions, biodiversity, and also plant protection. Green was founded in 2013, and we wanted to have not only a system which takes place in Germany, we wanted to have a European system. And that is the reason that we had the first wineries in France in 2015. And now we are in 6 countries, in Italy, in Austria, and Switzerland, and also now in Israel. We started very early with our Safe Climate initiative for carbon neutral products. With a very good system behind where we can calculate the carbon footprint and help the vineyards to reduce their CO2 emissions. We are also part of the International Wine Associations, the OEV, where we are the experts for sustainability and for climate change. We have started a huge project last year for biodiversity together with the university in Geisenheim, and we now see also that FAIRN Green goes to other fruits, for example, for other things, not only for wine. We are at the moment 86, we have 86 members in the different countries, and because we work together with large cooperatives like Cantina Caltern in Italy, more than 1,000 wine growers work already with FAIRN Green. So it's the largest system what exists in Europe, even if it is not as big as some organic labels. But when you look at the other big German organic label, which is EcoVain, they have 2,500 hectares with their winemakers. FAIRN Green has already 2,600 hectares together with their winemakers. So it is a big label, and we want to improve it further and further. And because we have some new contracts in place with some retailers, we see that FAIRN Green will grow in the next 2 years up to 200 winemakers. I want to share some survey with you. That is a survey from the ProWine, the FAIR ProWine, together with the University Geisenheim, and they asked 1,700 wine experts in 46 countries what are the challenges in the wine industry for climate change, and what does these experts see as a solution of the climate change in the future. And the result is quite interesting. More than 85% of the experts see that the wine industry should focus more on sustainable production. That was the first answer. The second answer was that the wine industry should contribute to climate protection and significantly reduce its carbon footprint. So that was the answer with more than 75%. And number three was that in the future consumers will prefer climate neutral production in wine. So these were all interesting topics where we were already working on. So let me come back to FAIRN Green. So we see FAIRN Green as an independent, holistic and modern system for sustainable viticulture of the future. So independent is very important for us because FAIRN Green does not belong to a wine association or is not part only of a research project. It is an independent organization which was founded by the winemakers. It is holistic because it covers all aspects of sustainability, and it is a modern system because it is a learning system. We don't expect that you cover all aspects right from the beginning on. We help the winemakers to improve over the time, and the system gets modernized step by step, more or less every year. When there are new aspects in the market which have an importance, then we include these aspects into the system. It is not like when you look at organic wine, where the EU has not changed the guidelines for organic wines in the last years. But in this kind of a system, you improve the system every year, and this helps a lot that it still stands as a modern system. So what you have heard in the beginning, FAIRN Green consists of four main sections. We see business management, environment, society, and we have a fourth pillar, which is the value chain. In the value chain, we look at specific topics of the vineyards. And we do this because we have some special aspects in different countries, and because we want to take care that we cover all major aspects also in different member states. That is the reason that we look at this in the value chain in a different way. Under these four pillars, we have a lot of, let me say, chapters. These chapters are underlined with a lot of questions and indicators which we analyze for each vineyard year by year, and what you finally get is a status quo analysis where you stand in each of these areas, but you get not only an analysis, the main part is that you get support, that you get help, how you can improve in these areas. So you start normally with 50%, that is a barrier what we have. We expect 50% that you reach over all these different topics, and you should improve 3% year by year. And by this you get a lot of help. And that is the main thing what FAIRN Green stands for. It is a consulting approach where what is the main part. It is not only to do a certification, it is to help the vineyards to improve over the time. That is what you get. You get consulting in each area with a lot of new tools what we use to support the vineyards. You get an audit, and finally you get a certification. The first certification is not done by FAIRN Green. It comes from an external company to make sure that all the guidelines are included and that everything goes in a correct way. That is very much important for the acceptance in the market, that you have an external certification body included. So that is finally what you get as services. You get a detailed test report, you get an individual environmental footprint, you get anonymous benchmark analysis and concrete improvement steps. Also, this benchmark analysis helps the vineyards a lot. I give you an example. When you are number whatever 80 out of 85 vineyards, then you have a very, very bad energy consumption. And then we can find out why you have such a low performance regarding energy consumption, and we can help the vineyard to improve this. And this is very important because over the time, all the vineyards who work with FAIRN Green could improve a lot. So let me come to 3 examples. One is carbon footprint. We have started our Safe Climate initiative in 2016. And what we do is we are doing a carbon footprint analysis regarding greenhouse gas protocol, also includes the indirect emissions of a vineyard, and then we help them to reduce these emissions. We started with a light glass bottle initiative also already in 2016, together with the monopolies in Scandinavia, where we said that light glass bottle has to have a weight less than 420 grams. Today you can already get bottles who have 360 grams, but this is now a definition which is in the market, and all FAIRN Green members have started to go to lightweight glass bottles. So they normally start with their basic wines and not with their Grand Crus or Große Gewächs. They started with in this area, but this makes normally 80% of a wine production. So you can see already a huge CO2 emission reduction by using this lightweight glass bottles. There are other important factors who also are important for the CO2 emissions of a vineyard. A very easy thing you can do is to go to green energy, and by this you can also reduce your carbon footprint. But we have a dedicated program in place which helps the vineyards to reduce their carbon footprint. And we do this with a lot of vineyards now because there is improved consumption. More and more consumers, and also in the Scandinavian markets, they ask for CO2 neutral wine. So that is the reason why more and more wine companies started with this program and offer carbon neutral products. I see this personally as a very important point of a sustainable wine making company, that they have the carbon footprint, a good carbon footprint in place, and that they are able to reduce this with a dedicated program. Another program what we have in place is plant protection analysis. As I have mentioned in the beginning, we have organic farmers and other farmers in FAIRN Green, and you can have huge discussions what is the right plant protection. And of course, our basic understanding of plant protection in FAIRN Green is that we follow the concept of integrated crop protection. And this means that all chemical measures are only carried out embedded in other measures unless a mechanical or cultural solution is available. So this is the first phase. But then we have implemented a new tool, what we call toxic load indicator. This is a tool developed by a guy from Greenpeace, what also was before used in other areas like cotton made in Africa. And what we have now, what we are using now in the wine industry. That is very, very interesting to look at this tool, because we are not making the difference between, is the pesticide a synthetic pesticide or is it an organic pesticide? We look how the impact of the pesticide is on the nature. And by this you have here a 15 topic calculation tool where every pesticide is calculated of the impact of the to the environment. For example, you look on the impact of honeybees or birds, or what is the impact of human beings. And by this tool, you get a number of each pesticide. And what you can do now is you can go for the pesticides who have the lowest impact on the nature. Because you get this additional information, you only have to change from one pesticide to another pesticide, which also helps you to protect your plants, but which has a lower impact on the nature. By this tool, which is also now recognized by the German government, is you can reduce the negative impact on the nature of pesticides up to 40%. I think this is a very innovative tool which really helps the growers to reduce their pesticide impact. And I think this tool will be used more and more. We use this in all countries and have the same kind of positive impact. The last project I would like to share with you is biodiversity. This is a big project we are doing together with the university in Geisenheim. So what we like what is our goal is to strengthen biodiversity in viticulture. We have a cooperation of experts from different areas, and we develop individual biodiversity measures and also implement these new biodiversity measures and solutions together with wine growers. In this project, we have 34 model wineries where we implement all these new tools in the wineries, and we have additional 50 partner wineries in all regions in Germany. And I think this will have a very, very big impact of the improvement of biodiversity. The reason why we started this project was that biodiversity is part of our system. And when we make the analysis of the biodiversity in the vineyards, a lot of winemakers were asking us, what can we do to improve biodiversity? There was not the knowledge available of the best steps they can do, of the best solutions to implement. And this was the reason that we started this program. So that is the program from FAIRN Green and University Geisenheim, which is called Ambito. Finally, we want to have a biodiversity toolkit where we can help all wineries with a very structured approach to improve biodiversity in every vineyard. And here you have a picture of what we see in the future, what we can do. Just a few topics on this. We look at Interrow greening. So interrow greening, this is already existing, but because of climate change, not every intergrow greening works anymore. We are now looking at different grow greenings which are developed for different regions in Germany. We also look at flower strips along the vineyard, and of course we want to implement a lot of structural elements in the vineyard. So, for example, hedges, solitary trees, or piles of dead wood. So that is, but this is a really good approach, which also help the vineyards to improve in the area of biodiversity. So that is what I want to point out. When you go for sustainability, it is not only to check where a vineyard stands regarding sustainability. This is a dedicated program of consulting and solution. So we are also part of ISEAL. ISEAL is an international organization for all known governmental seals. So you see fair trade and others in this area, and we are the first wine seal which is part of this international standard organization. They have a very clear process how you have to work and how you have to communicate, and this makes it also more and more transparent what FAIRN Green is doing. So finally, we are in 6 countries, and I think next week we go to another country, another European country, where we have some requests from winemakers. FAIRN Green is on the Pro Wine Fair next year with 20 wineries, and FAIRN Green is also a network where a lot of knowledge sharing is taking place between the wineries. And it's much more than a certification system. It is a network where new solutions were developed and take place. So thank you very much for your attention.
And thanks a lot to you for giving this presentation.